Wait, should I get closer to the mic? The golden grid.
That was actually good.
Yeah.
Honestly, that wasn't bad.
One time I won a karaoke competition.
Did you?
Yeah,
What song were you singing?
Well, it was actually a 3-week series. It was a very serious
3
competition.
weeks? Like once a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like 3 different times. So like every Wednesday for 3 weeks.
Arizona or Texas?
Arizona.
Okay.
In college.
That's freaking
I won
funny.
$500. Yeah.
Which is a big deal in college.
And I bought the whole bar drinks.
Yeah, you spent all
I was
that
like,
night.
hell yeah!
You spent all of that money.
I got it in
that night.
cash.
Welcome, you guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. Hi.
If you didn't already know, this is Olivia Witt. She's one of my good friends, and she's on today's episode of The Gold and the Grit. I'm your host, Ann Christian. So, you might have seen her on Instagram. Her handle is Stoke Witt, or you might have seen her new Western marketing company called Saddled. But last summer, Olivia made the bold move by leaving behind her corporate job in Texas for ranch life in Montana. Trading boardrooms for big skies, she embraced the rugged Western of Western... I don't know why I messed that up. We're gonna keep going. She embraced the rugged beauty of Western life, seeking authenticity and purpose. Through her experiences, Olivia has cultivated a life that resonates with a lot of us, with meaning beyond the conventional path. So I messed that up pretty good, but hopefully you guys all got the picture that Olivia kind of left behind what most people think is the right thing to do and did, I think, what a lot of people wish they could do. And I think that's probably your number one DM request, right? It's like, how do I do that?
Yeah, I get a lot of DMs about like, hey, I'm foreign, I'm from England, I'm from Spain, like whatever, and I want to work on a ranch. How do I do that? I want to live in Western America. How do I do that? I want to quit my corporate job. How do I do that? Those are like probably my biggest things I get. And it is a little bit difficult to explain, and I think it is a little bit harder said than done. So it's definitely been a journey for me to take that leap.
I'm like wondering if I need to fix your mic. Hold on.
Do I?
I feel like it needs to be pointed upwards. Can you just twist it like towards your mouth? Yeah, sorry.
Do I? Should I?
We're getting better with each podcast, but I think it's like...
Should I put it in this little
yeah,
thing? Let's see.
Yeah.
Will
and
it
then
fit?
put them...
Will that fit?
That's
You can
beautiful.
also use the magnet on the magnet.
Oh,
Were you not doing that?
there's a magnet. Sorry. Technical.
Also, for those that don't know, behind the camera is a really cool guy named Josh with Create Black Dog. Is that how you say it?
Black Dog Creative.
Okay, Black Dog Creative. I think your Instagram handle is Create Black
It
Dog.
is, 'cause I think the Black Dog Creative one.
All right. Well, I was close enough.
It's okay. People call me Stoke.
Do they?
They think that that's my first
Are you
name.
gonna name your son that? Is my question.
Maybe their middle name. Just kidding.
I want to ask. Well, first, I want to kind of get to like. I want you to talk about yourself a little bit, which I know feels vain, but if people want to know, I want to know. Give the backstory, where you grew up, where you went to college. We know you were in Texas before this, but how you picked Montana, one. And then two, I do want to hear about your Instagram handle name, where that came from.
Okay, yeah, that's a really big burning question. So I'm originally from Arizona, born and raised. Love of my life is the desert. I love the desert. The saguaro cactus is my best friend. I'm just kidding. But I'm originally from Phoenix area, and then I went to U of A in Tucson, so bear down.
Bear down.
Love Arizona. I had the best time ever. I actually ended up being a business marketing major, graduated magna cum laude, and I thought I wanted...
What does that mean?
It, like,
Top of your class.
Yeah, I mean, summa cum laude is like...
I'm really smart if you can't tell.
No,
I definitely knew what that meant.
Yeah, magna cum laude is just one of like the highest achievements you can get for like grades wise and stuff. And I was like super involved. I loved being in clubs. I was in a sorority. I kind of did all like the typical college things. I interned at 3 different places in college thinking I would go into corporate. I did my duty. I got my corporate job. I signed on to that senior year of college, like in November. I actually interned at Barbie, like the company that owns Barbie, which is like a cute little fun fact. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I worked for Fisher Price, so like little baby toys. I worked in their marketing department in LA.
You could have been in the movie.
They filmed it 5 minutes from my house when I lived in Venice Beach. Yeah, they didn't tell anybody though. It was super hush-hush.
Okay.
That's
cool.
So I was like, oh my God, Margot Robbie's 5 minutes from my house. And I was sitting at the corporate office and I was like, why am I not part of this? I was so upset.
She's so cool.
No, she's so cool. Anyways, yeah. So then I got an offer from them and I was like, I don't think my destiny is to live in LA. So I took a job in Austin at Oracle, which is a huge tech company. And I randomly took a leap because they actually pushed back my start date to September. So I was supposed to start in June after my graduation in 2023. And then I actually ended up starting in September. And I was like, well, I'm not doing another Arizona summer. It was like 120, I'm out. Like I can't, I've done that my whole life, I'm out of there.
Yeah, done.
So I kind of had like a weird thing in the back of my mind where I had family friends in Red Lodge, so I grew up going to Red Lodge a lot. And then I have family in Stevensville, which is like South Missoula. And so I like always had in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe I should just try living somewhere that I never thought I would. And I thought I was gonna climb the corporate ladder. So I was like, this is gonna be my last free summer, where should I go? So I randomly found an apartment on like an MSU like little Facebook group. And I rented it out for 2 months. I ended up staying for 3 because I loved it so much. Yeah, I found another like 1 month lease, which was amazing. I moved to my job in corporate in Austin, Texas at Oracle. I made it 5 months. And last January in 2024, I was like, I have to quit. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad was like, you need to quit. I was like, you're right. I can't stand it. I was very not good. I was not very well mentally. And I kind of knew. I left Montana and I was like, why did I leave? So I moved back full time in April of last year. So this will be my 3rd summer, which is really exciting.
That's so cool.
I'm so excited.
I love that.
So.
Thank you for that backstory.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because everyone wants to know, like, okay, yeah, how did you get here and whatnot? So now about your Instagram handle. How did you come across that name
Okay.
or choose that?
This is funny because I actually don't know. When I was 15, I feel like that was when the rise of like Finstas was happening. And so like
Real.
everyone had like their fake Instagrams, and I actually had a photography account. So like I was diehard into photography. I loved adventure photography in high school. And so I would like make my mom like drive everywhere. I'm like, Mom, can we please go to Joshua Tree this weekend? Like, I really want to go take pictures. And she would. Like, I was like, you're the best mom ever. Like, my mom is amazing. And she loves road trips, thank God. And she's also just as spontaneous as I am.
Yeah.
And so I like begged her, whatever. And so we used to go on like road trips, whatever. So I had this photography account. And I wanted to be like one of the VSCO photographers, like so bad. Like it was the rise of that.
Yeah.
So I had like this like professional account, and I never posted myself and whatever. And then the rise of the Finstas came. And so I think it started with like Stoked Wit. And then I was like, this doesn't sound good. I think somewhere when I was like 15. And I was like, this doesn't sound good at all. So then I changed it to Stoke Wit to make it like, I was like, I tried to go like Stoke Wit it, and then I was like, this is stupid.
Stop, that's hilarious.
And so then
Funny.
And then after high school, I ditched the other account, and then I just started posting on my now Stoke Wit account.
Your Finsta became your main.
Yeah, it did. And my old main is actually still up. So it's Olivia Witt. So I actually do have a normal username somewhere out
Is she
there.
just hanging out by
Just
herself
hanging out
there?
Olivia Witt.
Last post, like 2018.
I think I tried to revive it in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of stopped in 2019. I ditched it for like 2 years, but then I was like, ooh, maybe I should start photography again. And then...
Which you've kind of evolved your way back into that role.
Yeah.
Because you were like in front of the camera a lot, and you were doing a lot of product things, and obviously like ranch photography was big, which I would love for you to talk about when you moved for good last summer, and you worked on the ranch. That was really big for you, but I feel like we've done photos together. I've seen all your stuff with Saddled. You take majority of those photos, wouldn't you say?
I take all the content for Saddled, yeah.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's not like, no offense to anyone that is this, but it's not like this influencer with a camera.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's actually knows what she's doing.
Yeah, well, I figured I could combine both my talents of like, okay, I have a lot of experience. I mean, I've been shooting photos since I was like, I don't even know, 10, 12. Like, I begged my dad for like a Canon Rebel T3 or something like that when it first came out, and Black Friday sale. I was like, can I please have a camera? Like, I really want a camera. And I literally started shooting photos when I was like 12. And
That's
then
so sweet.
I figured I'm like, I want to combine like both my talents of like, okay, I got really comfortable in front of the camera and I like know my angles. I like taking photos. I like modeling the product and stuff like that for fun. But then I also like love being behind it. So I feel like it's great that I kind of have, in my own eyes, like I have an advantage, because I think a lot of people can't really do both, and not that that's a bad thing. I think go with whatever you're really good at, but I'm really grateful that like I have both of those things, and I have like both the sides of it, because then I can combine it and do both, which is really fun.
Yeah, so let's get into how you kind of started Saddled, because this is like, is this your first true company brand? Like,
yeah, it's my first company. I had 3 internships in college, like I said, so all for corporate companies. And then I worked at a ranch last summer, which we'll get into. And then I launched my company in August of last year.
So do you feel like those other internships kind of like paved the way to like understand the business side of it, understand working with clients? Like, is that where your brain started working of like, okay, I could do what I'm doing now, but for other people?
I think it actually started more in college. I was like super involved in college. I loved college. It was like so my thing. I loved it so much. But I was the president of like an honorary, which is like a club, but you have to apply to it. So that's really interesting. But I was a president for 3 years. And so I think that's where my leadership really kicked in. I was like also editor-in-chief of my yearbook in high school, which was like my child. Like I loved yearbook. And so like I think those 2 things really like made me realize like, okay, I want to be my own boss and I want to do my own thing. Where the corporate, I think, helped with experience and like legitimized me as like a business professional. But I think the leadership and the individuality came from like the clubs and me being in yearbook and me kind of doing my own social media for a while. So yeah.
That is so cool. Do you want to touch on the ranch stuff from last summer a little bit?
Yeah,
and like
totally.
how that evolved to Saddled?
Yeah, so I was interviewing with like a bunch of ranches around town. I knew I wanted to be near Bozeman because I did have some ties there, and like I had friends, and I feel like I established a little bit of roots the summer before that and before I moved to Texas. And when I moved back, I was like, okay, I want to be able to be near here. I need to do, you know, things around here. I wanted to experience like a Bozeman summer because, you know, it's amazing. So I started interviewing with ranches in Paradise Valley. I started interviewing with ranches up in Big Sky. Like I was just trying to find anything that was like relatively close to like Bozeman, Livingston area. And I found one that worked really well for me because they wanted to hire me for marketing. And so that's kind of where I made my biggest decision of like, all these ranches were like, yes, we want you to work in our office. And I was like, okay, that sounds great, but like, can I do marketing? Like, can I run your Instagram, please? And they were like, no. I was like, okay.
All right.
I was like, okay, that narrows down my decision. So
Which
then,
also, like, how dumb do they look now? I'm like,
So
you
stupid.
guys look dumb. You said no to Olivia running your
I mean, so
marketing.
stupid. Well, also
Could've
at the time
blown them
though,
up.
like, I even like, it's so funny that even before I took this ranch job though, I actually was interviewing with other corporate companies, and there was like a few that they were like, so do you have any social media experience? And I was like, well, like at the time I had like 10K on TikTok and like still 2,000 followers on Instagram. And I was interviewing with some like big companies, right? And they were like, so do you have any experience? And I was like, honestly, no, but like, I believe in myself and I know what I'm capable of. And like, and they were just like, okay, that's great, but you don't have any business experience running Instagrams. And I was like, okay, well then watch me. And now I run like 7, 8 client Instagrams now.
And they're big clients.
Yeah, and they're really cool and they're amazing and I have the best time ever. And now I gained 50,000+ followers.
Yeah, you did.
And I hope they look kind of stupid for not hiring me.
She's like talking to you exactly.
Yeah, you know who you are. I'm
Calling
just kidding.
you out.
I'm totally kidding. Anyways, yeah.
No, you're not.
So then I decided this one ranch was like, we would love marketing help. And then that's where it all kind of started. And I figured I needed to start my career in agriculture at a ranch and really get like firsthand experience to legitimize me and see even if I like it. Because being first generation agriculture is like, honestly, one of the toughest things you can do. Like, it's not going to like med school or law school. And I don't know if you feel this way, but like, I feel like people in agriculture, like the barrier to entry is really hard and it's really difficult. And like, it's not like you go get your college degree and then you go to med school. And then like, oh my gosh, you do your residency and you're a doctor. It's like, if you're not born in agriculture, it's like, really difficult to get into.
Yeah.
And that's like how I feel. Like my parents are white collar, both my parents are in law. And my brother ended up doing like a blue collar field as well. And so it's just interesting that I don't know, like the barrier of entry is really interesting to me for agriculture. And I think it's a little bit different than any other industry. So working at this ranch really helped me solidify and really try to understand the industry. And honestly, I learn every single day new things. So, but this was like a really good stepping stone for me.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for answering that.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Let me know.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess along the lines of this past year, were there any kind of milestones or struggles that you didn't expect that like helped you, I guess, grow in yourself or helped you propel you into where you are now? And then along those lines, is there any advice you'd give someone that maybe is like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, or like, this isn't what I expected, or like, I thought this path led here, but it actually was a closed door.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. When I left corporate, I think it was like the hardest thing I've ever done. When you get trained in a way, I don't know if that's the right word, but my business school, if you didn't get an internship at a Fortune 500 company, you're like a loser. And not like that they don't set you up for success. This business college is the best thing that I've ever done in my life. Like going to school and getting a business degree was the best thing I've ever done in my life. I met some of my best friends. I met some of the best relationships. I met some of the best connections. And like even meeting someone that goes to U of A still, I'm like, oh, hey, and they're like, oh my God, what's up? Like, it's like the best connection ever. But going to business college was amazing. But at the same time, they kind of instilled in you like, okay, if you don't work at, Goldman Sachs, if you don't work at JP Morgan, like you're not making it. And so I was like, oh my God, I need to get the best, corporate job ever. So that's what I did. I got a job at a Fortune 75. I got entry level. I signed on, 6-7 months before I graduated. And so I was just set. And then I showed up and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
This is torture. I'm like, I showed up. I am not made for a 9-to-5. I'm not made to listen to a boss, like a micromanaging boss. Like I'm not signed up to like, I once left 15 minutes early and he texted me and he was like, where are you? And I was like, my work is done. I'm gone. He was like, what, you can't leave? And I was just like, I can't live this kind of life. Yeah. It's just not for me. So I think that was one of like the biggest hardships I had was honestly quitting. Starting my company wasn't hard for me. Honestly, it was like so easy. And honestly, I think God just like kind of put me in that place and set me up for that. Mm-hmm. But quitting was like the worst feeling ever for me. And also like getting over the feeling of like, I'm a quitter, I'm a failure, I'm quitting corporate after 5 months of like barely doing work. Like I'm basically failing out, which is so crazy because my whole life has led up to that moment of like, okay, I'm working at this big girl corporate job, whatever. And then I was like, I quit. And I finally quit. My dad was like, you have to. Mm-hmm. Like he honestly forced me.
You could see like training.
I was the most miserable I've ever been in my life. I was like crying myself to sleep, but for no reason. Like the job was like honestly fine, but like I was just so miserable in the job, in the career, and like I was doing tech sales. Like it was not for me. But so then I was just like crying myself to sleep. I was so depressed, and then my dad was just like he recognized that in me, and I'm so grateful. I have such a good support system because like without my family, I would probably still be in Austin, Texas, doing that. And it's just not for me. And so I'm grateful I had that push and someone else honestly pushed me to do it. But I think quitting was way harder than actually starting the company. Because starting the company has been so amazing and honestly so easy and like not even being, like I'm not even trying to brag, but like it's been so fun and easy and like honestly so natural in a way. Where quitting was like so forceful. It was so hard for me to quit. I've never like got up and quit a job. Like I normally just finish out my term and there's always been like a time limit. So if you're thinking about quitting your job, honestly quit. It's not that scary. And there's like life outside of corporate. I didn't think that there was like life for me or life for anybody else outside of corporate. And there is. And honestly, it's like way better. And I go on walks every day now in the middle of the day and I look at horses and I'm like, I can't believe people sit in their corporate jobs.
Yeah, cubicles.
I can't believe I did that. Like, that's just not for me. And it's not for everybody. And if you feel that way, that's kind of my main advice of, like, honestly, just do it. Just quit. It's not that deep. Get a serving job in between. If you need to get a bartending job to make it, do it. Like, it's not, you're not a loser, and it's honestly not that deep.
No, you meet so many fun people in serving.
Oh, I love to work.
So
I
many
cocktailed at a bar for a little bit in between. It was the best time ever. And I made way more money.
Yeah.
I made so much extra pocket cash. I met so many people. I met so many clients now. I met so many friends. Like, it was like the best thing ever. And I feel like there's like this weird connotation, like negative connotation around like, oh, you're quitting corporate, you're gonna be a server.
Right.
Or you're gonna do this, or you're gonna do like be a bartender, or you're gonna, you know, go work at an odd job or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
It's awesome. And like, honestly, it's the best way to figure yourself out and figure out where you wanna go and what to do while making way more money than probably your corporate job.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's way more fun and freeing.
Absolutely.
Like you said, you can take walks.
Yeah.
Or go ride horses in the middle of the week or whatever.
And say even if you quit your job and then you start bartending, it's like, guess what? You work from like 5 to like 12 at night. Like, you have all day.
That's right.
You have that 9 to 5.
Especially in the summertime, it's like, go to the river.
Oh my God, do whatever.
whatever you
Go
want.
start a hobby. Go start a company. Go do whatever. And so honestly, yeah, if you want to quit your job, I'm not giving you bad advice. It's actually really good advice. But like, if you don't think corporate's for you, then I would quit, because I don't think it's for everybody. And I don't honestly think that like us as humans should be confined to like, you know, working from 8 to 6, 8 to 7, 7 to 9.
If you ever like travel other countries, you see they don't do that.
Yeah.
And they not only they don't do that, they like are doing things that make them happy like you are, fulfilling them like you are, but also they take that like 2 or 3 hour break in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Nice, France, my friend Tori and I went, the cafe owner.
Yeah.
Literally, we saw him, we were at the beach, we saw him and his dog every day. He shut down the cafe around 2, and we saw them like run and jump off the cliff into the water and swim around for hours.
Oh my God,
and
what a
then
life.
go back and open for dinner.
That is so awesome.
And like, that's how Americans are missing out.
Yeah. Well, and like
Americans
productivity, I so agree with you, first of all. And second of all, I think like productivity levels, like I wake up at like 6 and I will work until like 9. And then I'm like, I'm over this. I want to go to the gym. So I'll like go to the gym from like, you know, maybe 10 to like noon.
Get that dopamine hit.
Get back, I'll eat
Endorphins
lunch, then go back to client work, and then at night I'll shoot, and then like last night I was literally editing photos till 1 a.m. because I was so excited about this photo shoot. But like, I just think like productivity levels like shouldn't be confined to like 8 to 5, because I feel like when I worked 8 to 5, I feel like I showed up, I was like really productive in the morning. I went to lunch, after lunch, I was done.
Yeah, that's
I was
what
like, I want a break.
siestas.
But then
That's
at
why.
6 o'clock, boom.
Yeah.
I'm like back to being productive again. And so I love the idea and I love the flexibility I kind of created for myself as well. And I really am like blessed to have that flexibility where I can literally work whenever I want. And if I wake up at 3 a.m, I'm like, oh my God, I have the best idea ever. I can work all night and then sleep, you know, whatever.
Right, it's your own hours, your own job.
Yeah,
your own
it's the best
company.
ever, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Josh, the producer videographer guy who I've been talking about behind the camera, when we edit stuff, it's like cool to not have to do it like you're saying.
Yeah,
in the middle of the
whatever.
day in an office, it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it is really nice about
I love
that,
flexibility.
to have your own thing. Yeah.
absolutely. But I think it also is hard for people. Some people really need the direction. And like, I know, I mean, all my friends are still in corporate.
Yeah,
Like
or
literally
maybe
all my
they like that environment of being around people, or
They
that
love it.
community of work.
Yeah. Some of my best friends like love their jobs and I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
But then there's other people that don't like it and I just don't think it's for everybody, and I kind of knew going into everything that it just wasn't for me, honestly, in general. I showed up the first day. I'm a person that like I either love something or I hate it. I fucking hate it. Like
One or the other.
I'm literally, which is like, I think my greatest strength and my greatest weakness, because, and it's the same with people. I'm like, I either fucking am obsessed with the person or I actually fucking hate them.
It's one or the other.
Like, literally, and
No in
honestly,
between
I have
for
the
you.
same personality. Like, people either fucking love me or people fucking hate me. But I feel the same way about like opportunities and jobs and like places and whatever. I showed up to Bozeman the first day and didn't know a single person. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking live here the rest of my life.
You loved
I
it.
showed up to Austin, Texas. I was like, I never want to live here ever
You're
again.
like, never again. I'm not going to be here.
So I felt that same way about jobs and
Yeah.
people and whatever.
Yeah, you just have an inkling and you like know.
Yep. I'm
you know, you know.
I know exactly what I want. So.
She does. I know that from personal
Yeah.
being your friend. You do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I did open up my Instagram and said like, okay, if you have any questions for Olivia when she's on the podcast, let me know.
That's scary.
And so
That's where my
none of them-
jacket's from.
Oh yeah? From what?
Didn't they ask where my jacket was from?
Oh yeah, someone asked that, and someone was like, "Will she model for my brand?" And then there were like other like little things like that.
If you pay me a lot of money. Just kidding.
She might model for you.
My jacket's from, I think it's from Depop.
Depop.
Not to-
yeah, because you were like, it's vintage, baby.
It is vintage.
That was your answer.
Not to be annoying, like, I hate when people say that something's fucking vintage. It pisses me off.
I kind of like saying that about my purses because I'm like, yeah.
No, because you think you're way cooler, and it's way cooler to find something vintage, and you're just like, I'm better than you because it's vintage.
I don't feel like
and
I'm
you
better
can't
than them, but I'm like,
find it.
I'm really glad you can't buy it because it's like what I wear every day.
Exactly. It's
And I'm
like,
I don't
it's
want you
special to
copying
me.
that.
Yeah, it's special to me, and I think I'm cooler than you.
There's certain things I can
found
care
it and you
less.
didn't.
Like jeans or outfits. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you the link. I can care
Yeah.
less. But there's like certain pieces that you're like, this is so special to me.
Yeah.
Like my rings.
I know.
or-
I want to steal this someday when
My
you're not
heart one?
looking. Yeah.
You can borrow it anytime.
I don't wear silver, but I wish I did.
I know. I like mixing metals. My friend Bridget and I were talking about this. I was helping her yesterday with some content for her. She's a really cool jewelry company.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
Wild Hair.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so we were talking about that. I was like, can you wear silver with gold? And she's like, yes. And I was like, okay.
I am so glad it's becoming a trend because I'm such a gold girl. I feel like blonde. I don't know why. I just like
Blonde-
I
I
can't
feel like gold
pull off.
looks good
Yeah,
on you.
I feel like I have brassier hair and I have like brassy. I don't know if features.
The
if that makes
undertones.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm so happy that that's becoming like a thing now because I want to wear turquoise and there's no gold in turquoise. Like it just looks stupid.
You can do it, but yeah, it doesn't like go together.
It doesn't. But I love silver anyways. But yeah, this
Do
jacket
it.
is
Mix your metals.
It's from Depop. But
Okay.
I looked up horse jacket.
when you searched it.
And I remember my senior year of college, actually, I was like on Depop. I was like, I really want a horse jacket. And these girls in my class, they were like,
In Arizona.
yeah, they were like, what in the hell is she talking about? I was like, I just want a horse
Just
jacket.
want a horse
I don't
jacket.
know. Anyways, so I ended up with this. It's really cute.
That's really funny. I love that. Okay, let's get into the questions.
Ooh, yeah.
If money wasn't a factor, are there any other careers or paths you chase after, or is it just what you're doing right now?
No,
This is it.
I literally like, if I could be on Instagram, this is gonna sound so screenager of me. If I can sit on Instagram and take pictures all day long, I would do that for the rest of my life. I love taking pictures. I love having a creative outlet. I love having a creative job. And honestly, like, it's great that I like can monetize that. And I think that
Right.
that's really important to monetize your passions. And I think that's why I left Saddled. I left Saddled super general. I actually originally, when I first brainstormed it, I wanted to do just ranch marketing. And I was like, why would I corner myself into that? I love dive bars. I love playing pool. I love taking shots of whiskey. I love shotgunning beers with my friends.
Yeah.
I love learning about hunting. I love fly fishing.
Yeah, you
I
do.
love
She's a
wearing
good fly fisher.
cute little jeans. I like wearing Canadian tuxedos. And I like wearing boots. And, you know, I like doing so much stuff that I was like, why would I just sit and do ranch marketing? Because I feel like that's already been done and whatever. Like, why would I confine myself to that? So I wanted a place where I can combine literally all my passions. Like I can literally combine every single thing I like doing into my company and monetize that. And I think that that's the most important thing about like starting your own company is like, yes, money's great. Making money is important, and especially in our society and whatever. But at the same time, like, listen, if I didn't make any money and money was not a factor and I just had a trust fund and I could sit here and have everything paid for, I would still be on Instagram taking pictures and doing shoots, fly
This would be
fishing,
it.
doing shoots,
Yeah.
doing whatever, meeting people. I love meeting new people. It's like, I think it's a hobby of mine.
It's the best.
It's so fun. My mom was just visiting this weekend and she was sitting at the bar at Stacy's and she goes, you know every single person at this bar? And I was like, I mean, yeah, you just leave your house and you just get to talk to, but everyone here is so friendly too, so it's really easy to get to meet people. I mean, I know you.
I love it
like,
too.
You the same thing too, yeah. We just yap and I just like
Yeah.
love chatting with new people.
That's why this podcast for me was so easy. So I was like, yeah, hear the stories and
And you're
talk
like,
about your
duh.
life. Yeah, easy.
You're like, I already talk all the time.
This
Might
is
as
it.
well. Yeah.
I just add Josh and a camera
Exactly.
and some mics.
Yeah, so money is not even like honestly a factor in my life. I just want to take pictures and have fun and meet people and do what I like. So, and that's what I'm doing.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
That's awesome.
That's a really good answer. And I think that's cool to be able to say like, no, I'm doing what I would do.
Yeah, I
Had
mean,
everything. Yeah.
this is literally like an answered prayer. I feel like I keep seeing like all the videos on TikTok. They're like, used to pray about this life and now you're living it. Like, you need to remember that. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so true. Because when I was sitting, you know, crying myself to sleep in corporate in Austin, Texas by myself, I was like, I just like want to, you know, like have passion and do things in life. And I literally, I'm not stressed out. I'm not doing, I work hard, but I also think it's like super fulfilling. Like, my work is so fulfilling because it's actually what I want to be doing. And I'm working towards a purpose, which is like so much better than working for somebody else, in my opinion.
Oh my gosh, so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Tenfold. Yeah. Someone else asked you, what's one piece of advice that you'd give to someone who's trying to build a platform on social media?
Post a lot. I posted literally, when I first started, I posted on TikTok like 3 or 4 times a day.
And it worked.
And then I figured out what people liked, and you just run with it. But also, like, don't copy people, because people copy me all the time, and honestly, I block them. Because it pisses me off.
Blocked.
I think I have like 200 people blocked on Instagram.
TikTok sound is like, mwah, blocked.
Yeah. Yes! I think I have 200 people blocked on Instagram.
You need to make that sound into a reel.
Okay.
And talk about, if you copy me in social media, this is what's happening.
No, literally. And it's actually kind of funny because I think the style I started posting, my style is honestly so stupid. Like, it is so simple. Like, it's not stupid,
Well,
I guess.
that's literally how I found
stupidly
you.
simple.
It's like how we became friends.
It's
Like,
so
I
simple.
saw one of your videos and I was like, oh, she lives here too.
Yeah. And it's like,
Sick.
well, my first series that really went viral, and it's funny because I actually started posting. I posted a lot about Montana, I posted a lot about the West, and I posted a lot about Arizona and whatever when I first started. And I was like, oh my God, these people love this stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I also hit the trend perfectly. And not that this lifestyle is a trend. I think it's a lifestyle, and I think it's the way that we're meant to live and whatever. But unfortunately, it has become a trend to other people that don't live the same, you know, we do. But people started loving it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna lean into it and run with it. And people just cling on to things. And now I kind of know when something's gonna go viral. I can kind of like tell, you know, when I make a really good Instagram reel or TikTok, I'm like, that's gonna do it.
This one.
Yeah.
This one's gonna hit.
And then, yeah, I made one, and I was like, the bitches are gonna love this one.
The white girl summer.
The bitches are gonna love these bison, right? And then, like, it gets 5 million views. I'm like, yeah.
You're like, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew they'd love it.
Exactly. I'm like,
As long as they don't go pet them, like, you can watch from your phone,
like,
from your
whatever.
screen.
Just don't screenshot it and post on Pinterest. I'll get pissed off.
That does happen to you a lot.
I got into a Pinterest fight yesterday, actually.
You should just start reporting them.
I tried to, but then, like, you have to do all this bullshit, and then they're just like, oh, this isn't copyright infringement. I'm like, it
They
is.
screenshotted my thing. It is.
Yeah, I was like, it is, but it's okay.
Oh, so then you get your lawyer parents involved.
No, they're fine.
Yeah, it's not that serious.
They're really helpful with, like, my LLC and stuff like that. I'm really grateful to have parents
Pinterest
involved.
is not that serious.
Pinterest is not that deep. I just comment angry things.
This is mine.
No, I'm like, this is my photo. And then
Take it down.
And then this one girl yesterday was like, no, this is this girl, like one of my friends I literally took pictures of, and she's in the photo. You're like, no, this is her photo. This is actually her profile picture on Instagram. I'm like, who do you think took the photo?
It was me.
It was this girl. Like,
and then that took it. But you're still copying someone else. So
I'm like,
still
you're still screenshotting my photo.
Yeah.
Just because she's in it.
Correct.
It's my photo.
Yeah, you're still copying hers and mine.
It's illegal, everybody, by the way.
Gosh,
copyright
people.
infringement and intellectual property is still, that's stealing. So.
Yeah, it is stealing. On the internet or not, it's still stealing.
Yep.
Okay, let's move forward. I'm trying to think of the other advice people wanted from you. But this is something that I'd like to know.
Okay. Cool.
What is something that God has been teaching you lately in the middle of all of this, or that you've learned maybe the hard way over the last couple years? Away from the corporate stuff, because we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's such a good question. I love that question. Well, I've been getting really back into church, actually, and I don't really talk about religion a lot because I just feel like,
Yeah.
I feel like honestly, like the internet has given power to a lot of people that don't really deserve an opinion. Like, I feel like we're just getting so much information now that, like, we're not really made to, like, intake.
Sure.
Like, we're not made to intake 10,000 videos a day. We're not made to, take in so many people's opinions and get this much news and, like, understand, like, we're not supposed to know every single thing that's going on in the world. And I think that's what the internet has done. Not that the internet's not a bad place, and I think it's an amazing tool for news outlets and real news to get rid of the trash that other news outlets are putting out, whatever. But I don't know. It's like, I feel like I don't really have an opinion. So I don't I don't feel like I'm like really my opinion's worthy of like putting it out there. So I don't really talk about religion. I don't talk about politics. I don't really talk about like my personal life a lot on my Instagram. I feel like it's very just like aesthetic and just like I'm trying to put out peaceful things.
Well, you're also like rightfully private, and that's okay.
Yeah, I'm like not. It's funny though, but like you know me, like I'm not very private.
In real life, no. In real life,
everything.
no.
Oh my god. This guy texted me. Oh my god.
In real life, Olivia is not private,
No.
but like her social is, I think, like the right amount of private because you're still talking about what you're doing, but you're not like going into detail of like
Well, it's funny though.
who you're dating or not dating or who you voted for didn't.
No, yeah, and it's funny because I feel like people are like a lot. Even my friends. Some of my friends are like, "What do you even do for work?" They're like, I don't even know what saddled is. And I was like, honestly, I kind of get it because I don't really talk about it unless you're directly kind of involved with like shoots and like doing stuff and like, but even you asked me, you were like, what do you call saddled? I'm like
it's a marketing company, right?
I'm just having fun. I don't know. But
yeah.
Basically, I don't know. Yeah, so going back to your question, sorry, that was like, I'm a big tangent goer. But I think I've been going back to church every single Sunday. I added that to my...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know, because I haven't really talked about it.
Yeah.
I've been going to the Catholic church. I'm not Catholic. I'm actually baptized in the Methodist church. I went to Lutheran school. My mom is Catholic. My dad's Methodist. I grew up in a religious family, but not super religious, but I was like super involved in middle school and high school. I like ushered in my church at home in Arizona. I helped do the slides, like the slideshow, and like do the songs, whatever, at a different church. I was involved in like clubs and whatever. But I think God's like telling me that like I just need to trust him because I feel like I am such a control freak. Like I'm such a control freak that I want to control every single aspect of my life. And I'm like, okay, like if I'm bored with one thing, I want to change it. I want to do things. I'm super spontaneous and I'm super impulsive. And so I think God's just being like, dude, have I not given you enough signs? Like, this is it. Like, this person out of your life, this person out of your life, this person in your life. Here's new people. Here's old people. Here's people that come back into your life. Here's people that shouldn't be in your life. And he takes them out. And I'm kind of just like, whoa. Why'd that person leave? Yeah. What's up? What the hell? Why'd they leave?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, no, they're not supposed to be in my life. And I'm kind of just like really learning to like give my anxiety and give my control freakness, if that's a word or a phrase.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
My control freakiness. Like to God and just be like, dude, you know what? You got a plan. Like it's never not worked out. So like, why would it not work out in the future? And I actually was listening to like, not to be corny, but I was listening to a Mel Robbins podcast.
Yeah.
And she was like talking about like, okay, well, what if it doesn't work out? And she goes, okay, well, if you give yourself the negative thoughts, you owe it to yourself to give you the positive thoughts. And so she changed it. She's like, so what if it does work out? And I was like, oh, that was so good. So then now I'm kind of just like, yeah, that's God being like, dude, you need to calm down. Like, you can't have everything at once. You know what I mean? You need to build your life. You need to be by yourself. You need to do these things. You need to be independent. You need to start a company. You need to be meeting as many people as possible. And, like, you need to be doing your purpose in life and doing this stuff. And, like, everything is going to fall into place, which it already has, which is, like, insane for me to think about, like, me a year ago. Like, moving here, I had nothing. Like, I had a car, but, like, my dad bought us all cars when we were 16, which I'm super grateful for. My dad setting us up. But, like, I had a car in my name, but, like, I didn't pay for it. Like, I had no home moving onto the ranch. Like, I had no lease. I had, like, nothing to my name. I had, like, barely, no Instagram followers. I had no company. I had no job.
I want to talk about the car, too, because you kept that car until a month ago.
Yeah, I did.
That was your car you've had since you were 16 until now.
Yeah, I just sold it.
Talk about what it was, and then also talk about, like, how exciting that was to buy your first
vehicle.
I
cried. I cried getting rid of my car, and the salesman was like, this fucking chick is insane. I was, like, crying. So I had my dad.
Hi, B. Hi.
This is B, everybody. She's our podcast guest, actually. She's all
She wanted
the
to
one
come
you've been
say
waiting
hi.
for.
Hi, pretty girl. Hi, sweet angel. Okay, but what kind of car was it?
Okay, so my dad, I have 2 older brothers, and so basically my dad was like, my dad treated us as equals. So all 3 of us got the same thing. We all got braces. We all got a car. We all got, if someone got a MacBook, we all got MacBooks. Like, it was like very like an even playing field. And that's why I think I'm also very competent of going into business and dealing with like different things and different adversities, because like my dad treated all of us as equals. Like, I was never babied. I'm the youngest. I'm an only girl. I was never babied. He was like, here you go. This is how you're gonna be born. This is how you're gonna be raised. This is exactly what you get. He goes, you get a car, you don't get a car payment, but you better treat that car right. And you better service it every 5,000 miles. And you better get new tires when they're bald or before they're bald. Like, you need to take care of it, you know? And I was like, okay. You know, like, I didn't take it seriously. I used to take it down dirt roads when I was 16. I go off
What was it?
I go Toyota Camry.
Yeah, she had a Camry.
2017 Toyota Camry. And I learned to drive on it. And I drove that thing.
And you drove that thing to Utah.
Oh, dude, that car has been to like probably like 20
I know, but I'm
cities.
just thinking of like this past, this past fall.
Oh my God, with bones.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay,
She
so-
almost got stuck on this like crazy driveway.
Yeah. So like there was like a dirt road
in Utah we went to last year.
There was a dirt road, and we basically went up
Shout out
about
Mike.
Yeah, Mike and Bones. About 5,000 feet in the incline, and they were
Crazy.
behind because she flew in. I was like, I'm just gonna drive down there. I hate flying. I hate it so much. I cannot get on a plane. It gives me anxiety. I have to get on a plane tomorrow morning. I'm gonna freak out. But
I love flying.
besides the point.
That's where I'm like, all right, Lord, this is how I go. This is how I go.
Hell no, I'm not going down in a plane. Oh my God.
I'm like, well,
it's like the lamest way to die.
it would be a lame way to die, but I'm like, I always pray when I'm on the flight, like, okay, God, please help this flight be safe. But then it's like you have no control. You are not the pilot.
That's why I don't like it, because I need to be
Yeah,
control.
well, that's where
I'd
I
rather go down to
have to-
Black Hawk with a bunch of Navy SEAls.
We did do that. We didn't go down.
No, but I'm saying if we went down, I would be like, yeah.
Well, I died in the
You know
Black
what?
Hawk.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm with the best, most equipped people right now.
Yeah. If Dave would have wrecked that thing,
like
though, we
4
would've been
Navy
like,
SEAls,
yeah.
former Navy SEAls.
We had a few of them on.
Yeah. And we were
It was
just
like Bear, and I don't know who else was on the. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't think Kurt or anybody else. Anyway.
But Dave was flying it, so that was fun. It was really cool.
Yeah. It was a great experience, but
Yeah.
I would rather go down than an airplane. But anyways,
Yeah.
I drove down to Utah in my little Toyota Camry. I've driven all over the place. I moved to LA in that thing. I went to college in that thing. I moved to Texas in that. I moved up here twice.
How many miles were on it?
117,000.
How is that it?
I know. Is that crazy?
You drove like
Everywhere. Yeah, everywhere.
That's surprising. But you are so young. I forget. I'm like, oh, but you're
I mean,
so
I had
young.
it for 8 years.
Yeah, that's
So-
it feels like it should be over 200.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So I sold it and I bought a truck. And
Her truck is beautiful.
Now I'm a big girl now.
I love that. Isn't it
truck
that
girl.
color? It's like that, like,
Avalanche gray.
Yeah, it's
and then
so
you know,
pretty.
it's so funny. It's like my dad and my brother were both helping me find this car, and it's so funny because like my brothers are so like resourceful for me. Like they are so helpful, and my dad is like he will do anything for me. And so my dad was like down at the dealership. My brother is a car salesman, so he was like actively online looking for cars. He was calling dealerships for me. And then one of my clients was like actively like driving around. He was in Moab for the weekend. He was like actively driving around being
I
like,
love this
is this the
client.
truck for you? Oh yeah. No, I'm like, that's why I can never date a man that's not obsessed with me, because I'm like, look at the men that are in my life.
that's how I feel about Jesus. I'm like, hey, he literally
well,
died
yeah.
in my place. Like,
Oh my God, totally.
how could I ever be with a guy? Well, I have been. But in the future, how could I ever be Josh? Josh is giving me a look behind the camera. How could I ever be with a guy that would not like go to the end of the world for me?
No, it's
to be
lame.
like, you are worth cherishing, you are
No.
worth loving.
Yeah.
God, I can't do it.
I'm like, I literally had like these 3 men like looking for this stupid fucking car color for me. I'm like,
they
I
found
want
it.
this truck. I want this Avalanche gray color. And
Is it
and
2024 or 5?
2024,
Okay.
brand new. I got
Beautiful.
with 12 miles on it, but I was
So
like
cool.
sitting there, and my brother was like, "Why don't you just get white or like this silver gray?" I was like, "I don't want
wanna settle."
If I am spending money and if I want something, I want the exact thing I want."
And you've waited since 2018?
2017, 2016.
2016. Yeah.
I
you
got my
waited long.
permit in
You
2016.
waited a long time.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting here and I'm like, why would I buy a car? Or like, why am I spending money? When I buy something, like, I want something that I want.
The exact thing that you want.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's everything in life, though. Like,
you are very picky, but that's a good thing.
oh my God, totally.
Because that's my advice to people is like, be picky.
Oh my God, that's such a good advice too. Because I feel like the people that just like are like go with the flow and whatever, like they're just so unsatisfied.
Right, or if you settle, you end up regretting it, and then you have, to look back and be like, dang it.
Why would I do that?
Why would I do that?
And it might take like years and years and years, but like people do look back and be like, what
no doubt.
the hell was I thinking? Why would I do that? Why did I buy that colored car? Now I'm spending, $500, $800, $900, $1,000, whatever your car payment is on a fucking car I don't even want.
Right, or getting a paint job and spending even more because you wanted to make it what you want. Yeah.
Exactly. And you're just like, why did I not just buy this stupid fucking car and wait?
Why didn't I just get the color I wanted?
Yeah, and then wait for the one I actually wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so I feel like we've talked a good amount, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So this is my last question. I love it. That's why I was
at the bar and I'll have a few drinks and I'll woo.
Stacey's is a really cool, like, if you've never been there, it's
you'll
like
find me there.
Old school. I love it. It's like an old school honky tonk.
Unfortunately, yeah, it is.
I love Stacey's.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
And the Western is cool too.
Yeah, it's like my home, second home.
Sponsor our podcast, Stacey's. Okay, I say that at least one time episode now, just to be funny. I told Olipop last time.
Oh, that's a good sponsor.
Right?
Yeah.
I normally have one. I normally get us some, but this is my infamous last question I ask all my guests. Kind of speaking, it doesn't have to be something you regret, but like if you could go back to yourself at any given point in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be and how old would you be?
Oh my God. Okay. So when I was like trying to, this is my initial one. When I was a senior in college, honestly, even starting in junior year of college, I was so stressed out. I would cry and like, I would freak out. I would stress myself out about finding a stupid fucking internship and a stupid fucking job. Like when I got the offer from Mattel and I was like in the process, like they gave me, which is insane, honestly, they gave me like months to decide, which is unheard of, honestly. Normally you have 2 weeks to decide if you have a job or not in corporate.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's like super, like, honestly, a week or 2 weeks is like normal. They gave me like 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
But I was like, oh my God, this offer was so good. I couldn't pass it up. So I needed to find something better. And so I was like hammering out interviews. And honestly, I just kind of wish I told myself to just like not really worry. But again, I think it was like hard because like all my friends like signed offers. Like a lot of my friends were in finance, a lot of my friends were in accounting, and all these like major companies sign them on like a year or two in advance. Which is like if they get an internship junior year, they're already signed on for a full-time offer, which is like insane.
It's crazy.
It's actually so crazy like how these like Fortune 500 finance accounting firms, whatever, Big Four, whatever work. I wish I told myself to just like calm the fuck down because I like literally would like stress myself out to the point where I'm like bawling my eyes out. And my dad was just like, dude, you need to calm down. And my dad worked in corporate. He's, a big dog, whatever. And he was like, you need to calm down. I was like, you don't get it. Like, I'm freaking out. And now
you just put a lot of pressure on yourself.
So much pressure.
Yeah.
I have so much pressure on myself, honestly, in general. Like, I think I'm the only person I compete with. Like, I'm literally like, I don't compete with anybody else. I just compete with myself.
Yeah, I think I told you one time, like, maybe you should just love yourself. And you're like, no.
No. Why?
You're like, no, I have to motivate myself.
You're like, no, I need to be better than this.
Yeah, but also.
Like, I only get better.
I'm like, but also, you're amazing. We won't get into that. I'm like, I think you're worth loving. But.
No, and like, I do. And I have like a lot of self-worth, obviously, in general. But like, I'm also like the hardest person on myself, which is great. Because like, I think I wouldn't get anywhere in life without that. But at the same time, I wish in college I would just tell myself to like chill the fuck out. Like, it's not that deep. If you quit your job, if you don't want to do your job, if you don't want to do this, if you don't want to do whatever. And it's so funny because like a lot of my friends now are like kind of like in that weird like 2 years in corporate, and they're in their corporate career and whatever. They're like, dude, this fucking sucks. I fucking hate this. I have no life purpose. I have no hobbies. Like, all I do is work and whatever. And I'm like, dude, just quit. It's not that deep. And they're just like, no, you don't understand. I'm like, no, I actually do understand because I had the same mentality. I had the same thing going on in my brain. I had the same turmoil going on. I just wish I could tell myself to, like, chill the fuck out. It's not that deep. And God just, like, God has a plan. And, like, everything's for a reason. And, like, even the things that like you wish you can force, like they're not, you can't force anything that's for you. Not that that's like the most cheesy advice ever, but like even if you try to force like friendships, like relationships, jobs, like whatever, like if it's not for you, it's not for fucking you. And
It's
like,
not going to work out no matter how much
honestly,
you try.
like, yeah, we don't know what's out there for us. And like I would, if you asked me like, honestly, even a year ago, like what I would be doing now, you would not.
This would not be the answer.
No. If
Yeah,
you
you
knew
probably
me a
had
year ago,
a different answer for like your love life and other things too that you thought at the time you wanted, and then, like you said, God showed you by removing things, hey, this is actually not the best thing.
oh my God, no. And then it turned into the best life possible, where I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally probably the best version of myself right now. And if I didn't do all that, if I didn't go through all that, if I didn't like, you know, try this out, make mistakes, do whatever, you know, like I wouldn't be in this position in my like cute little new truck. And like,
so the
I like drive around.
Cute.
I drive around. I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, who am I? I don't even know.
Who's that girl?
Like, I sometimes I bought it like a month ago now, and I'm still like, what the fuck? Wait, where's my Toyota Camry?
Like, where's my car in the parking lot?
Because I had it for 8 years, and I'm like,
You panic. You're like, someone stole my
Cameron,
Camry.
the Camry, where are you?
Someone
His name
really
is
stole it. Cameron. I like that.
Anyways, no. But seriously, I'm kind of sitting here, I'm like, wow, this is like such an answered prayer and such a blessed life that like we live, and I love being the creative side of everything, and
You're so good at it.
you are too.
No, you really are.
But it's like cool to be able to experience things and grow with people and meet new people and kind of just experience like all the stuff that like I wanted to be experiencing like years ago, and now I'm kind of doing it again. Answered prayer. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you too.
Thanks. This is really fun.
Yeah.
It's been really cool. But thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'll be sharing in the details all of her handles and how you could find her, how you can hire her if you're a company looking for someone to represent you with marketing in the ag western realm. So yeah. Thanks, Olivia.
Yeah, thank you. Cut it. The end of the gold in the grid.